From a kitchen table startup in the mid-1980s to a puppet of an industry giant, Bethesda's changed a lot in nearly 40 years, some for the better and others for the worst. Though a decade of wins in the mid-2000s and early 2010s were soon shattered by a single botch, which has left the company under the thumb of another ever since. Now, for the first 13 years of Bethesda's existence, it was a division of a little-known Media Technology Limited, certainly by today's standards in 2025. So it wasn't until 1999, when ZeniMax Media took over, did the company really have its time to shine, first as a developer and then 2 years later, after the purchase, as a publisher, via Bethesda Softworks, as Bethesda Game Studios fully formed in 2001. Now, Bethesda's development record stretches over 5 decades, from Wayne Gretzky's hockey in 1988 all the way to Indiana Jones and the Great Circle in 2024, with all sorts of highlights in between, from Elder Scrolls to Pirates of the Caribbean, Fallout, Doom, Wolfenstein, The Evil Within, and Starfield, to name but a few game franchises developed or published by this once great hub of games creation. Though in recent years, ever since the release of Fallout 76 in late 2018, Bethesda releases have either been disastrous, like Fallout 76, or Redfall, released in 2023, or have been disappointments, like 2023's Starfield and 2019's Wolfenstein Youngblood. In the rare case of success, like Hi-Fi Rush, released in 2023, under Microsoft's control, Bethesda wiped out the game's development team, the team called Tango Gameworks, though thankfully, Krafton bought the company in a rescue package that gamers and industry insiders alike have celebrated. So what happened, Bethesda? I remember when the company was celebrating win after win, especially from the mid-2000s until the mid-2010s, from 2006's Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion all the way to 2015's Fallout 4, a library of games, all of which were successful, financially, and as games that gamers thoroughly enjoyed, most notably Fallout New Vegas, released in 2010 with Obsidian developing and Bethesda publishing, of course, and Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, as it's known, released in 2011. Now that was fully developed by Bethesda, and I dare say that game was when the company peaked, and it's been going downhill ever since. That's a long 14 years, folks, and a lot has changed for the worse in Bethesda's case. Let's just say that the company fell off a cliff. It was a long 7-year journey to get there, but likewise with Ubisoft, if you make the same type of game too often, then eventually gamers will reject new releases, especially if the game's released in a buggy, broken mess, all the while lying to the audience with 16 times the detail. Though 2015's Fallout 4 was a great success for Bethesda, getting Game of the Year for 2015, cracks were starting to appear as folks lamented the aging creation engine, an ever-increasing mess for recent Bethesda titles. Now, it was Fallout 76 that was the final straw, the last straw, the straw that broke the camel's back, folks, and Bethesda's reputation tanked as a result, and it has never recovered since. The novelty and quirkiness of Bethesda titles was smashed to pieces, even after efforts to polish and refine Bethesda titles in the future, with their future projects. I mean, Starfield is a fantastic example of this, but it still disappointed gamers. Why? Because gamers had moved on to more fulfilling franchises that did not need continuously constant loading screens to function. Ultimately, ladies and gentlemen, Bethesda's failure is as a result of a lack of innovation, combined with pushing gaming customers too far, especially after the lies surrounding Fallout 76's improvements that never came to life on release date. For better or for worse, Bethesda's made its bed, so much so it's owned by Microsoft now. And speaking of now, Bethesda have to lay in what they've made. I don't have high hopes for their future projects, folks, especially Elder Scrolls 6. We hope for the best, though over the last near decade, where Bethesda is concerned, we must prepare for the worst. That's what happened to Bethesda. I'm the Dignified Cartoon Gentleman. Thank you, and goodbye.
The Dignified Cartoon Gentleman, exploring why things go wrong. Dignified Cartoon Gentleman, what happened to this song? Stories come to life